Sound. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Saraswatyai Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Kratitam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitaamritavarshinim Bhagavatim Ashtadashadhyayini Amba Tvamanusangadhami Bhagavad Gita Bhavatveshini Namostute Vyasavishala Buddhe Pullaravindayata Patra Netra Yena Tvaya Bharata Taila Purnaha Prajvalito Jnanamaya Pradipaha Prapanna Parijataya Totra Vetraikapanaye Jnanamudraya Krishnaya Gitamritaduhe Namaha Sarvopanishado Gavo Dogdha Gopalanandanaha Partho Vatsa Sudhir Bhokta Dugdham Gitamritam Mahad Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsa Chanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Hari Om. All right, thank you for the warm welcome, and warm welcome to everyone today as we study Bhagavad Gita. We're in the 13th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. It is a wonderful discourse by Bhagavan Shri Krishna. And today we are in Shri Krishna Mandir. So it is his very words that he gave to Arjuna. Arjuna was a close friend of his, and in the Bhagavad Gita becomes his disciple. Arjuna is a warrior, and he is looked up to as the leader on the side of good. And on a battlefield, right in the middle, he falls down and he needs to be lifted. So he can do his work and fight the evil enemy on the other side, the Kauravas. He's a fighter, he's on the battlefield, and he has to get up and do his duty and fight, but he doesn't want to. Something overcomes his mind. And this has not happened before. He has fought with Lord Shiva. You just insult his bow and he'll fight. He was not afraid to fight. But at that moment he fell. And Lord Krishna, our Bhagavan Lord Krishna, could have done so many different things to have him get up and fight. But he chose to speak to him, to teach him. Meaning to say that already Arjuna had what he needed to fight. His problem, fundamental, if somebody has to teach you to help you, that means your problem has to do with ignorance, isn't it? If he didn't have the ability, if he didn't have the know-how, if he couldn't win that battle, then Lord Krishna would have to do something else for him. But he had everything already with him. ignorance, you'll have to say finally, overtook his mind, and sorrow. So like that, if while there and side by side with Arjuna, Lord Krishna won't touch him, won't do any magic to help him, he's going to talk to Arjuna, and Arjuna has to take that idea, assimilate it in his personality, and go out and practice it. If that is happening there, what more for all of us? Lord Krishna is not going to come and solve your problem. He's giving out an idea, a teaching, a refreshing new vision of life. We have to put the intellectual effort to grasp that. Right. So now in chapter 13 of Bhagavad Gita, we get to the Jnana Yoga section. The section on how to come out of sorrow and merge with God through knowledge. Through knowledge. And the problem is not the knowledge. The problem is we don't spend much time developing our understanding and developing ourselves. Our Swami Prakashanandaji once told, when he went to law school and he saw how much effort was put in by mankind, by society, to keep records of every legal case going back. Do you know, every legal case going back to like Magna Carta, they would have kept it, recorded it, because it forms precedent, as they say. Means if 100 years ago, two people go to court and they have the argument about the boundary between their land, and that day the judge says, okay, we are going to use where the tree is, where the tree was planted originally as the boundary. Then that goes into law. So next time that issue comes up, they say, well, is there a tree planted? Because already we know what the law says. And they have to keep record of that for every single case. And they have to be able to go look it up and reference it. For every legal case. The amount of intellectual effort that humankind has put to know where to draw the boundary between my things and your things is tremendous. If we have put just the same amount of effort into studying Bhagavad Gita, we all would be mukta. So it's a matter of our own effort, not this knowledge. Because otherwise people say, oh, this knowledge is hard to understand, this and that. Law is more hard to understand than what is being told here. Right. So what section are we in now? Well, we are in, see this. I thought when you welcomed me, you were going to say, welcome to paradise. Welcome to paradise. But that's not a surprise also. Let me ask you. I'm in paradise, you are in paradise, but do you feel like you're in paradise? You're in paradise, but you don't feel it. Why is that? Why is that? Well, when you study Bhagavad Gita well, and you assimilate the ideas, then you will live in paradise no matter where you are. Right? And for those living in paradise, you especially, because you already made it. So if you don't feel like it, then the problem is not with the outside, it's with the inside. So anyways, the section where we are now is exactly that. Before Lord Krishna gives the highest knowledge, he's been teaching so far, but he left the best for last about himself. He told Arjuna about the world, but he didn't tell Arjuna yet about himself. Because it is easy to tell. I mean, a few verses will be there and over. A few minutes it takes to chant. But to get that idea into my system so that I keep it with me and wherever I look I see the Lord, that is not so easy. The work in Jnana Yoga, in any accomplishment, is in preparation. So Bhagavan is talking about preparation here, preparation of our mind. In everything it is like that. See, take this yajna. How long will it take for the yajna to happen? Well, hour and a half is what we said. But how much time does it take to prepare? I mean, months ago you would have to decide, plan, put the announcement out, get all the musicians here. They'll have to buy their things, plan the havan, Panditji has to come beforehand, do puja, cook. So much thing has to happen. And the actual yajna is, same thing with food. If you have to cook, and eat, how long does it take to eat? 15 minutes, if eating slowly. 15 minutes to finish that food, isn't it? How long does it take to cook? From the time you have to go to the market and choose the vegetables and haggle little, what a pound and haggle and all that and bring it home, wash it, cut it, cook it, clean up, put it, cover it nicely with a cloth, wait for everybody to come, share it out. How much time is that versus eating? 15 minutes. All things in life, preparation is much, much more. And when you prepare well, then the other thing happens on its own. Isn't it? If you cook really delicious food and you leave it there, you don't have to call anybody. The smell will just come, the nose will pull them. Correct? So in the same way now, Bhagavan is talking about how to prepare our mind. Mind is not something I can see. Can you see my mind? No. Well, you can. You can see parts of it. While I'm speaking, whatever I say, first it has to go through my mind and then out. Correct? So just by listening to me, you hear what's going on in my mind. Correct? Then I have body movement and facial expression and all of that. So all that, same as if my voice has to come out, all my body movement has to come out. So you're seeing my mind by seeing all the signs. That there's a mind in there, it's communicating, it has something it wants to say, like that. And many times, people don't know. Like their body language tells what's on their mind and they don't even know. Or they try to hide it, but you can tell by watching their body language, isn't it? You know if somebody's sad just by the way they move even. Correct? So you can see part of my mind. And you can see what we both can see. You can see a part I can't see because I can't see my body language. Exactly what it's communicating, I don't know. So I have a blind spot, as they say. But then there's a whole other part of my mind you can't see. Correct? And there's a whole part of your mind nobody can see. Correct? Then there's a fourth part of the mind. See, one we both can see, one only you can see, one only I can see. There's a fourth part, which I can't see and you can see. There's a next part of the mind. There's a part of, after this satsang, you would definitely pick up and make up a conversation with somebody, isn't it? What are you going to say to them? Do you know? No? But whatever you're going to say, it's already there in your mind or not? It's already there in your mind. Otherwise, how are you going to say it? So there's a whole part of your mind which you can't see, which is there. If you remember that on your way home, think, oh, who knew? I didn't know I was going to meet that person, and then I was going to remember that story, and then I was going to bring up this thing. There's a whole part of your mind unseen. Correct? Right. So the mind is not such a simple thing. And we don't have a very good vision into it. So it seems very difficult to develop, to improve. If you see your own front yard. So you can make it better and better year by year, replace the fence, concrete, put down concrete, then you paint the concrete, you improve the drain, you improve the guttering so it's all dry. You can slowly make it better, correct? But the mind you don't see. So if there's a leak somewhere, you might never know. Now, that is the struggle for all human beings. But in Sanatana Dharma, in your very own tradition, the rishis, the seers, from which this whole tradition has come, have spent their lives over thousands upon thousands of years on this problem. How to improve that mind that nobody can really see. What can I do outside in the world with my speech, with my thoughts, with my behavior, with my attitude? And let that also make a change inside. How can I use the conscious day to improve the subconscious mind? That is what you have. Now who else has that? Everything we do, the havan is meant for that. The building the mandir is meant for that. The puja is meant for that. The bath is meant for that. The mantra is meant for that. Everything we have in our tradition also has an intention to improve the mind. That is the great tradition you belong to. And it is so important, and the rishis have spent so much time on that because of this thing. Bhagavan wants to teach all the people in paradise something. But he knows already, if the mind is not ready, that thing is going to be like trying to plant seeds on concrete. What will happen? That's a waste of your time and effort, isn't it? The earth has to be fertile and ready for you to plant the seed. Then only that seed will catch. Correct? Correct or not? So the preparation is in the land. Once you put the seed, if everything is prepared nicely, it grows. Correct? Correct or not? I'm competing for everybody's attention. Half everybody's attention is somewhere else. So you have to, in satsang, you have to bring all your senses here. If something is going on this side, or something is going on this side, or behind me and all that, first thing you should make sure, you know what, this is very important for life, and it will come up here. So I'll tell you now and I won't tell you later. See this thing. Sometimes on the road there's an accident. Correct? And that affects the oncoming traffic. It doesn't affect your traffic. You can go same speed. Yet, everybody in your side is slowed down. So there's traffic for kilometers going this way, and there's no problem. Why? Because when everybody gets, they slow down and take a look. What happened? Who's that? Right? And they make traffic for no reason. There's a name for that. In Canada, they call that rubbernecking. You ever hear that term? Because it make your head out of rubber and you keep turning so. And call it rubbernecking. Now, all the passengers can do that. But the driver can't do that. Driver's job is to keep eyes on the road. Correct? Because distraction brings destruction in every field. Distraction brings, what is it? Destruction. So I have to keep all my senses where they're supposed to be. So even though the eyes want to look, keep your eyes here. It's a wonderful rule for all the children who come satsang. While you're in satsang, you make a rule. I'm going to keep my eyes on that vyas, not going to move. And the eyes will, no, look now, just look one time, then nothing will happen. No. Eyes here, ears here. If you can do that in satsang, then when you come home and you have to sit in front of your textbook, you will have no problem. Right? So, that is one example of developing the mind. And tonight you might have to practice that. Okay. Bhagavan is saying like this. If the mind is not ready, he's going to give pure knowledge and it will spoil in your, like, he wants to give milk. And we have for a mind like a achar bottle. No matter, if you put little effort and you clean it, and all that kind of thing, it might look clean. But if you smell it, what does it smell like? Still smells like achar. And if you put milk in that, what will happen? Milk will spoil, isn't it? So our mind has impressions going way back. And what we have to do is sing with me. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama.
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 Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama.
Sharanam Mama Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama.
Right. What we have to do is we have to make that achar bottle of our mind pure. Purifying the mind is the work in spirituality, in Hinduism. Have you heard that term before? Purify the mind, purify the mind. How will you purify the mind? You'll eat detergent? You wash extra with more soap and hope that the shampoo goes in? How? How to purify the mind? The answer is given here. How to purify the mind? Values. By the practice of values, the mind changes. It throws off all the things that it picked up that it don't belong inside. How? By the practice of values. Right? So Bhagavan now lists here 20 values over 5 verses in chapter 13. And that we have to see today. We saw the first 2 last night. Humility and no hypocrisy. And so we pick up now from that verse. So I will chant and you please chorus with Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Hare Krishna, like that. From verse 7 of chapter 13. Amanitvam nadambitvam ahimsa kshantirarjavam.
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama.
Acharyopasanam shaucham stairyam atma vinigraha.
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama.
Everyone, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama.
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama.
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama.
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama.
All right. So Bhagavan's giving a list of virtues we can practice. So we study each one little bit, and pick up whichever one you like, and you practice it. And then you pick up one more, and then you pick up one more, like that. Humility, no hypocrisy. Then what comes next? Ahimsa. Ahimsa. That means, in one word translation, absence of himsa. Himsa means violence, injury, to hurt somebody. So the rishis say that the greatest dharma a human being can practice is this ahimsa, not hurting anybody. Huh? Now let us think a little bit about that, because it is given so much importance in our tradition. So the rishis explain like this. We think, when we say non-violence, that it just means don't punch anybody, don't push anybody, like that. Don't be aggressive. But that is not what they mean. When they say ahimsa, the rishis mean to say, at every level of my personality, I should not disturb, injure any being, not just human beings. That means by my body, by my speech, by my thoughts also. Every part of my personality should not disturb anything in this world. Like that. See, other animals out in the world, if they want to attack any other creature, they have their body, isn't it? They have one weapon. That is their body. But we human beings, we are equipped with 3. The animals don't have speech. But what a human being can do to hurt another human being with speech alone is so much. More than body, correct? So you have an extra tool you have to be careful about. You have speech. The bird only can whistle. He can't insult you. No, whether you, even if you put him in a cage, that poor fella can't say anything to you. He only can whistle. Correct? But you put a human being in a cage and see what he says. He can't reach you, but his words can. They say the pen is mightier than the sword. Words can do real damage. Oh, okay. And thoughts also. Whatever comes out in your speech or your word or your body first starts in your thought. So, ahimsa, or the idea that expresses where I don't ever hurt any other being, has to start in the mind and then emanate through my whole personality. Right? Now, the rishis, see how they explain great saints and sages that epitomize, personify this wonderful quality of ahimsa. So they study, they look at saints and sages and say, wow, that saint or sage, just by his walking alone, if you see how he walks, man, the way he walks, if he walks beside any sleeping creature, they wouldn't wake up. How soft. In comparison, you have Ravana. Daram, daram, daram. You can imagine how he walks. You wake up everybody. Softly, like how a bee lands on a petal of a flower and goes and gets the pollen and comes out without disturbing the flower. Like that, man should walk on this earth, softly. You see? So the rishis mean to kick open a door, to slam a door also. That is himsa. To injure any physical thing. Like, here's a book. To you have doggy ears, you know that? To take the edge of the paper and turn it, and bend it, and make it look old. That's also himsa. Interesting. The way that they look upon the world. The great sadhu doesn't even want to open his eyes, they say. Because they might look at a being and frighten them or hurt them. Because with anger, eyes alone can scare somebody, isn't it? You can shoot fire with those eyes if you want. Correct? But if you meet a man or woman of ahimsa and you look at them and they look at you, all you see beaming through their eyes is love and compassion. Like how a mother calf will look at that baby calf. Like how a mother will look at her newborn. The eyes, that it is what all of us should imbibe for any being passing in the world. So with our eyes, with our walk, with our hands also. We shouldn't lift our hand in a way that will frighten anybody. Sometimes you lift your hand and the dog goes running. He'll beat me. No, you should be aware enough. Now I unnecessarily troubled another being. By the way, I lift my hand and my mouth also. That sadhu won't open his mouth. And if he does, his words come out like how a mother's words come for their child. If he has to raise his voice also, only like a mother raises her voice. The intention is not to hurt at all, not one iota. The mother might be giggling and not frustrated at all with the baby, but just for the baby's sake, just to put on an angry face. Stop that. Meanwhile, they look so cute and funny, with the food all over their face and all that. You want them to look like that. Stop that. Don't make a mess of your food. You have to put on a face. But behind is only love. Correct? The very presence of that sadhu, because he's imbibed this ahimsa, is soothing for people. The rishis say, like, you have the sun on one side, and its rays can be harmful. Its rays can be harsh in the middle of the day. Correct? But then you have the moon on the other side. Nobody has ever said the moon's rays are harsh. The moon's rays are only uplifting, nourishing, delightful. Correct? They're both giving light. But see how one gives light and see how the other. Your presence should be like the moon, nourishing and delightful for whoever you meet. Like that. So the rishis go out and analyze this world, find examples of ahimsa, and they say that is how the Mahatma is. Now, if their walk and their movement and their eyes and their speech and their presence is giving such a positive, nourishing, unharmful vibe to the universe, what is it in their mind that they have? How are they letting that out? Because you know an angry person can let anger out. A sad person, you can feel the sadness. How are they getting out this ahimsa? Well, they say, if you're going to have your senses and body exhibit ahimsa, then in your mind there must be love. That is the only way that can come out. And if you want there to be love in the heart, then you must feel some closeness with the other beings around. Oneness must be felt. I must feel close. Then that, as soon as you feel far away, this person is an alien, distant from me and all that, then there comes himsa. Means injury, hurt, insult. And where there is hurt and insult, there is definitely going to be separation and destruction. 100%. And where there is ahimsa, compassion and love and an urge not to hurt any being, then there will be integration. So if you want to bring a family together, if you want to bring two parties together, if you want to bring a society together, you will go and look carefully, and somewhere, and if it comes together, somewhere in the center there is some person who has this value for ahimsa. No, don't speak like that to the other side. Nah. Why? They deserve it. They did all these things. Because it'll hurt their feelings. What is the point in hurting their feelings? That won't do anything. You know, there's some coach, and that holds the family together. It holds the society. Ahimsa brings things together, and himsa makes things go apart. Ahimsa paramo dharmaha. That is what it said. Like that. So if I want to integrate with God, then I have to bring this in my mind. Now I want to tell you one last thing about this ahimsa, right? We don't necessarily get time to think about it, and today I don't know how much really we have, but just this one thought. Why should I put in the effort to not injure any being? It's a lot of work, you know. I would rather just give that person a piece of my mind and be over with it. So that's what we all feel, right? Now see a few different points. First of all, this world like a bank, because there is a law of karma. And what you put and deposit into the world, that is what you have in your bank account. So if you want to withdraw back compassion and love and forgiveness and people not to disturb you, then you have to put that out into the bank. Otherwise it won't be there. So you sow, so you will reap. So that's a very simple, clear, basic way. But there's something deeper to this also, right? See, in order, like I said, let me go back. Every being does not, universal. There's no being in this world that wants to be hurt. Do you want to be hurt? Does the puppy outside want to be hurt? Does the ant want to be hurt? Does the bird? No. Universally, every creature has. Don't hurt me. I don't want to be troubled. Correct or not? Universal. So to live not hurting any being is working with the universe. Correct or not? But also, the universe has the opposite. If you trouble another being, then they will give you back some aggressive response. Correct? And for a human being has certain expectations. We all make expectations. People should act like this should happen, this should not happen, whatever. And when that doesn't come your way, then the instinct is to, like my grandmother tells me a story. They're from West Coast, right? One day, the family dog, which they used to feed extra food and all that, one day she put food in his bowl and she wasn't paying proper attention and she put hot food in his bowl. And like normal, he came without thinking to eat. And once that touched his tongue and he burned his tongue, he got angry and he went to bite my grandmother. The loyal family dog went to bite she. Why? Because you hurt him. He did not expect you to put hot food in his bowl. It's in an instinct like that. Correct? So now and then in your own heart, when somebody steps on your toes emotionally, they come to mandir and they don't even look your way. They come to the person beside you and they say Hari Om, Ram Ram, and they walk right past you. Well, I expect you to stop and say hi to me. I expect you to come to me first and then go to everybody else, somebody might say. Correct? So when you don't do that, now I'm frustrated. Now I lose all my love and all that kind of thing. Now, here's what the advice is for saints and sages, from saints and sages. If you want to develop this quality, the only way now is to realize that if I say anything back to that person, it will hurt them. And if I hurt them, then that will hurt me also. The thought of hurting somebody else hurts me also. It takes a very undeveloped mind, gross mind, to hurt somebody comfortably. Give you a kick. Why? It doesn't bother me. Just because, you do that with your friend, you give him a slap, what you know and all that. That's different. But for somebody you don't know, you have to really be uncultured to want to hurt them and not be bothered at all. You see? So the work in ahimsa is to sensitize the mind. You should become more sensitive. Sensitive means what? The pain of others is pain for me. If that happens, no matter what happens to me, I will not want to let out another painful word. And I'll break out of the instinct of all the other animals. So when you read the news and you hear something happen to somebody, your heart should pain. Your heart should pain. If you don't have this quality, well, the mind is still like an achar bottle. That knowledge is not... Because in order to realize God, you have to have a sensitive mind. You have to be able to sense His presence. But if you can't sense the pain in the other fellow even, after you step on his toes even, how will you sense the presence of God? Ahimsa is essential quality. Then, connected to that, next one is kshanti, forgiveness, endurance. Forgiveness, and Jina ji had talked about that earlier in chapter 12. It's a wonderful practice for all of us to take up. And the simple reason why we have to have forgiveness is like this. If somebody hurts you, they're gone on their way, They're not thinking about you again. You and I go on thinking again and why did they do that? They shouldn't have done that. So we suffer. They're they're sleeping. And we're staying up at night. Oh, this fellow, they shouldn't have done that. I don't know if I can ever forgive. So in that, who's the one who's troubled by not forgiving? Me. They're not troubled at all. So why will you trouble yourself unnecessarily? You really have to be foolish. You have to be foolish not to forgive. Like that. It is good for us to forgive. After that comes Arjavam. Arjavam, see, Arjuna's name is after this quality. Straightforwardness. Straightforward means, I'll tell you what is the opposite of straightforward and they'll get it. You ever met anybody who says one thing, does another thing, and when he talks to somebody else, he says something else also? You ever meet such people? They're not straight. Means their actions and their thoughts and their words, they don't all line up. They're not straight, they're bent like a snake like. You really can't figure out which way they're pointing. They have kutilata, it's called. Crookedness in them. That thing is more, see, who is more dangerous? A crooked person or a wicked person? You tell me. Who do you think is more dangerous for society, for you, for the community? A wicked person would tell you. Wicked means he's wicked through and through. He does wickedness with his body, he thinks wicked thoughts, and he says wicked things. So if you pass his house, if you pass my house again, I will give you a licking, he says to you. Well, you can trust him. If you pass, you'll get a... Because he says what's on his mind at least. But the crooked person, he'll whisper nice things to you while he's reaching for the bat, Who's more dangerous? Tell me. Crookedness is really dangerous. So, why must I remove that? And that we all have that. Under pressure, we end up saying one thing, but actually we didn't mean to say that because we just got caught. You know? You have to understand, whenever there is a break between what I'm thinking and what I'm saying, we create a split in our personality. You ever hear of split personality? You have. There's one famous character with 10 personalities in Ramayana. Ravana, with his 10 heads, 10 personalities. How he got there? By crookedness only. Means to say, if I'm thinking, like suppose you get the sweet rice. And they say, how is the sweet rice? And this thing, you put your fork in it and it's not going down. Like, is this pera or is this a sweet rice? I can't tell. So now they ask you, how is the sweet rice? Now, if you say, so good, reminds me of my grandmother, like that, then, well, that's kutilata, that's not true. But now you're caught because you just studied ahimsa. Right? So you have to find a way now to keep your being true, but also not disturb them. You have to say something. I never had sweet rice like this before, you can say. I never had sweet rice like this. But that's true, and that's also not necessarily disturbing. But you have to put the effort. Reason, why is this also called jnanam in our scriptures? How will you and I ever direct our whole personality towards Bhagavan if in normal day-to-day life we can collect it and make it all go in one direction? Like that. Misalignment. You know, in any equipment, if there's misalignment of the parts, what has happened? What happens if they're not aligned properly? There becomes friction, stress. Things get worn out like that. If you want to know what the source of stress is for all the people living in Canada and US and who get burnout, it is this lack of this quality. See, the intellect wants to do its hobby. I love woodworking. I just want to do that. I want to watch videos on that. I want to practice that. And the heart wants to go and gaff with his friends and all that. And the body didn't get enough rest last night. So now you have 3 mouths to feed. You have one head, intellect. He wants one thing. You have another head, heart. It wants another thing. You have a third head, body. It wants another thing. And all of them want things and they can't get. And where are you? At the office. Stuck at the office. And they do that every day, all day. And when they get home, then they have to take the kids with this lesson and that lesson and compete with the neighbor and then go out for that party and then come home. And by the end of the day, oh man, 11 o'clock, I'll be late for work tomorrow now. And so all the parts of the personality misaligned and going full speed, and then they burn out and they don't know why. Because they didn't take the time to line up my intellect and my heart and my body and my work. It all should be doing the same thing. Arjuna was like that. He was meant to be a warrior from childhood, and he took up that life and he lived that life, and now he's fighting a battle for good. His life is aligned. That is the quality we need. Acharyopasanam is the next one. That means worship and service to the teacher. There is acharya word is used nowadays everybody uses an acharya, but let me tell you, in scriptures that is a heavy, deep word, gambhir word, acharya. You know really who's an acharya? That person has to write commentary on the major scriptures of Vedanta. They have to write a commentary on Bhagavad Gita, on the Upanishads and Brahma Sutras. And it has to be something good, you know, they can't just write anything. Who meets that test? Shankara Acharya, Madhusudana Acharya, Sureshwara Acharya. Those who started whole darshanas like Vedanta and all that. Big people, in other words. I mean, we come down one level and say, okay, an Acharya is one who brings the essence of the scriptures and he shows it to people. And also, he has to follow that. He has to live that. He can't just tell. And more than that, he has to make other people follow. If he meets all those tests, then only you call him Acharya. You don't find people like that. Few in number. We just use it like you know how we use it? Somebody goes to university, comes out of university, starts a class at home, and we call him prof. Anybody who comes out of university is a prof. Professor? Nah. To be a professor is something greater. Huh? Just to make people feel nice, we go on using that. It's a very big word in Shastra. So you find a person like that to teach you, and then you serve them. Why? Because that service helps us tune our minds. Finally, to get this knowledge, it's going to come through a teacher. And we have to see what the teacher sees. What he is seeing in his vision, the student has to come to see. He has to be in tune. Just to tune up with the spouse or the people in the family is hard. You know, they come home, they're sitting quietly in the hammock. They didn't come like normal and say hi and all that. Who could be the son, the daughter, the husband, the wife? They're sitting there in the hammock and they're swinging. Now you're wondering what's going on in their mind. Hey, should I go? Should I leave them? They want me to come? What to do? It's hard to understand, isn't it? To tune. So if you want to tune into a saint or a sage, you go and you serve them for some time. Then they will teach you. That's the essential thing in our tradition. Shaucham is the next one, cleanliness. Well, this one we know. And in Guyana, we know it very well. Shaucham has two sides, external cleanliness and internal cleanliness. And external cleanliness does not mean you just sweep and clean up the yard. That's not it. Cleanliness, Shaucham, has 4 steps. Let me tell you this. When I first heard this, I was like, oh, that's why before we have puja, we don't just clean. See this thing. Step number 1, obviously, is to clean. It means you remove all the dirt and you wipe everything down and you might power wash or whatever. Tick. Step 2 now is to make that place pure. Pure means what? See, what we do is we just apavitra pavitro va sarva vastangatopi va yasmare pundarikaksham sababhyabhyantara shuchihi. Throw some water like that, chant the mantra, okay, its place is pure. But purity means that there's nothing around that is going to fan the desires or anger or greed in my heart. So if you may have to clean the house for puja, well, suddenly all the bottles go and get hidden in the corner, nobody should see them. And all the video game and TV, you lock that away. I mean, nothing about this place should bring in any sort of negative qualities in my heart. That is called pure. So you clean it, you remove all the unnecessary things that are vices. That's 2. Step 3 now, you have to make it beautiful. So then you bring white sheets and you put out flowers and you make the place beautiful. That's step 3. Still, you're not there yet. Then step 4, you have to make the place divine. So then you put some Om, you light some agarbatti, something that reminds you of God. When you have these 4 in a space, then you say Shaucha. You have made it clean. And that's why here and in India to date, when they clean their front yard, they don't just clean it. They clean it, they throw water, then they put the rangoli, they put some flowers, and they put one Om. Then they have made their front clean. You see the steps? That's called Shaucham, outside. Then there's also Shaucham inside. Purity of motive. That's what that means. Purity of motive. Now, this I want to tell you, I want to take a moment and talk on this. Among all the different ones, purity of motive. The scriptures emphasize something called duty in Hinduism. No other tradition emphasizes duty like Hinduism. We taught the world this word, duty. What is duty? Duty is a task, a job, something you have to do for which there's no reward. By definition, if you get a reward, it's not duty anymore. It's some transaction. Now take a moment and think about this. Every day you have to brush your teeth. Preferably twice a day. Correct? Now, if you're 45 years old and your mom still has to come and give you a pat on the back and a reward for brushing your teeth, oh, good job, good job. There's something really wrong, isn't it? Means, oh, I can't brush your teeth for you. Only you can brush your teeth. You have a duty to look after your teeth. Correct or not? A duty. And there's no reward for that. No reward. You just have to do it. Correct or not? Now, see now. Let's extend that. That's duty to your own body. There's more duty. Suppose you move from this village and you go up river. Right? And you find a new village where nobody discovered yet. And there, a whole big set of people are living. And they're living without any business. There's just a huge plantation. Imagine, a huge plantation. Everybody goes, and picks and eats whatever they want, and lives freely. And they have arrows, and you have plantain, and you have banana, and you have every kind of apple. Banana apple, sugar apple, custard apple, every kind of apple. Well, that's a very nice life. So you say, I like this place. I don't have to work and all that. Everybody just living for free. But how is that plantation maintained? Everybody gets up every day, goes out and maintains it. And they all go and maintain it. And they reap from it what they want. And they don't see who picking what. A nice society you meet. Now you go there and set up your own house, right? And you start to go and take. But you don't spend one day going and serving that plantation. That's right? You think they'll be happy with you? No. You're getting everything for free. You're allowed to come and live there. You have a duty to go out and help. Now they have to pay you to go and work in that plantation? Should they have to pay you? No. Basically, I'm appealing to your sense of fairness. That's not fair, man. If I get in, I should do, and I don't deserve anything after I do. My doing is paying back. Don't pay me again, I'll have to do more. That's called duty. Oh, and this place, see, suppose you're driving to paradise. I can't believe we say that. You're driving home to paradise, right? And you see a little baby on the road crying. And you say, but I recognize that baby. And there are 2 villages down and you see a bike mash up on the ground. Can you drive past and leave them? No, you stop. Pick them up. Oh, you must have fallen off your bicycle and got hurt. Now you feel lost. Come with me, I'll take you home. When you drop that child home with the bicycle and all that, should you say, ahem? Can you say? No, that's your duty. Correct or not? Duty is something you have to do for which there is no reward. That's called duty. A person who does duty has pure motives. And that's how we should live our life, doing duty. Now, I want you to see, is picking up rubbish from the road your duty or not your duty? Did you not find yourself in this Guyana, which is like a plantation where everything is there for free and coconuts falling from the sky and everybody's working for you, making road for you and all that? And you take something and you pitch it there on the road and don't look twice? That's like you go up to the village and you start to make rubbish also. Forget go to plantation. And my skin crawls when I think about it. Hindus should be the example of duty for the rest of the nation. I have a duty to pick this up. And don't you dare offer me anything. Like that. Because this is my land. That is Hinduism. And a person who lives up to duty, their heart becomes pure, like gold, like shining like. Huh? So at least you don't litter. That's going backwards and worse than duty. But you must pick up. You're walking by, you walk with some, pick up. Put it in the right place. Just like in your own home. You could walk in front of your front gate and see all things falling on the ground and not pick it up. And will let someone else do it. If your child does that, then what happens? Right. Duty is the way to make the heart pure. And we start with making our land pure. Monrepo is dirty like hell. Garbage and bottles and all that. And people just, because it's a market city now. So many people passing through. We don't want to see the rest of Guyana become like that. Stadium is the next quality. Stadium. This is basically means commitment. I'm on the path of spirituality and I will stay committed. If you can just take the children out to the back, then everybody's attention will stay here. I can't compete that much. So the parents who are here, if you're having a little hard time, just take them out. You can still hear, but then nobody will be distracted. Everyone, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama,
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama,
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama,
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Stadium means commitment, and that is needed everywhere in life. The stick-to-itness. I'm not going to give it up. I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to let this thing go. I'm going to keep at it. Everybody knows the power of this. When the guttering has a little flaw and water starts to drip on the concrete, drip, drip. It doesn't matter if it's brand new concrete. 1-2 years have to go by, and the simple drop of water can cut concrete, yes or no? You've seen it before. Why? Because of this stadium. Steadiness. Again and again going after the same. The soft, weak drop of water cuts concrete. What more the human mind if it keeps applying itself to something? Even though it looks like you're making no progress, you will make progress. Just stick to it every day, like that. Stadium. If you don't have that, you will not reach God. That's why it's called as Jnana. Atma Vinigraha, control over the senses. You're driving down the road, you don't rubberneck. Leave rubberneck. They put up a big billboard of the Catch chocolate bar. And they write, yummy. You seen that? Because we're going across Guyana, we've seen that yummy board all the way, every way. They have different ones. Well, if your eyes go there, they shouldn't call it catch. They should call it caught. They catch you. You're caught. Because distraction brings destruction. Action brings construction. I keep my senses here on the track where I want them to be. Like that. I have to be alert. Then Bhagavan adds another verse. See? Indriyartheshu vairagyam anahankara eva cha.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Janma mrityu jara vyadhi dukkha dosha anudarshanam.
Hare Krishna,
Indriyartheshu vairagyam. I should have dispassion for all those things I enjoy with my senses. Nobody likes this one. Please, you can just skip over this one now. Dispassion for my favorite foods and my favorite song and my favorite movie and my favorite pillow and my favorite smells. I can't do that. What joy will there be left in life? Now see this thing. It is essential for gaining knowledge of God for me to trade my attachment for joys of the world for my attachment for Bhagavan. I have to make a trade because the two are not conducive. They don't go together. They contradict each other. Like, I can't put one foot in a bus to go Supanam and the other foot in a bus to come Pomeroon. Well, I can at the beginning, but very soon I will realize I can't put one foot in a boat to go Laguan and one foot in a boat to go Parika. They might be going side by side, but eventually they will, and I will, like that. So it is like that. Now, some people say, yeah, you can do it. No problem, you can do it. Like, there's an ad in Canada, and they say, who says, let me ask you a question before I tell you that. Can you lie in the hammock and plant rice at the same time? No, those things don't go together. You can either lie in the hammock or go plant rice. But you can't have the result of both. They contradict. But there's an ad in Canada. It says, who says you can't sit on the couch and have groceries brought from the market at the same time? And then somebody rings the doorbell and you open it and somebody's there and brings all the groceries from you, all the stuff from the market. And say, hi, you should hire our company. We just do that. Stay at home and we'll do everything for you. But I tell you, that's a lie. It's a trick. It's a trap. If you want to see the trap in that, just reverse it. Okay. Will anybody say, you come sit on the couch and watch TV and let me pay you, and I'll go to the market so I can have both at the same time? No, that's madness. But then how is the opposite not madness? See, you can do both, but you can't do both at the same time. That the world just wants to trick us and make it like this. The world wants us to use our thinking and our work so I can just rest. You sit there on the couch, lie in the hammock, and spend all your money and let other people do the work. So all my thinking and all my hard work finally is meant for what? To swing in the executable breeze. That's what I'm working for. That sound right? That's backwards, actually. It should be the other way around. What is that? All my rest and all my work is put in so I can spend more time thinking. Otherwise, you spend all your time thinking, how can I go and do my work so I get most maximum rest? It should be other way around. And the whole world is geared up with ads and ideas and engineering and entertainment, so you do the opposite. So spirituality is going one direction, and the world is asking you to, stay on the couch and use your hard-earned money to send somebody else to the market. No, it should be, I sit on the couch and I use my hard-earned money to go to the market. I do both of those, but finally I do it so well that I have more time to come to satsang and think. Are you not thinking here today? Learning things? Good things. You can go home and repeat them to the children, or the husband, or the wife. I can see right here, husband and wife is here, they're both looking at each other. But not meant for that. All the fingers should point back to myself. Like that. So they don't go together. If you enjoy and all that, let me tell you this other thing. It doesn't mean that those in spirituality don't enjoy sense objects. But they enjoy RT, RP, RT. What is that? Say? RT, RT, RP, RT. What does it mean? Right time, right place, right thing. Say it. RT, RP, RT. Right? That is the test for any time you want to enjoy anything. Suppose you take a nice cold drink home. You take 2 sweet drink home. And you drink 1 here and you bring it home. And you bring it home in your bag and you forget and you leave it on your dresser. Then you wake up first thing early in the morning and what you see? Grape drink. Now, is it okay to drink a little grape drink, sweet drink? Yes. Right thing. A little bit. But is it the right time? No. First thing in the morning, you shouldn't be drinking sweet drink. Is it the right place? You should not be drinking sweet drink in your bedroom also. Correct? So you have to apply this test for everything. I can do it, but at the right time, at the right place, with the right thing. Like that. If you can follow that, then you can follow scriptures. If you can't follow that basic test, no chance you'll be able to follow scriptures. So just follow that test and you'll make it. Eventually you'll be like, I don't need it also. Right? Then, anahankaraha. This we talked about a little bit with amanitvam. But not having arrogance. Right? The basic idea is like this. Whatever we have to be arrogant about. We all have some arrogance. I'm beautiful. I'm smart. I accomplished so much. I built this mandir. If it wasn't for me, this wouldn't have happened. If it wasn't for me, these children wouldn't have got educated. If it wasn't for me, nobody would have. I'm the breadwinner in the house. People think like that or not? All that is called ahankar. If you say it wasn't for me, then this lesson from scriptures is for you. What is that? Nobody in the world is indispensable. Please know that. Bhagavan, Sarva Shaktiman, Sarvagnya, Sarva Vyapi, all powerful, all knowing, all pervasive Lord of the universe, can get anything done. If you say, these children wouldn't have been educated without me, what you're really saying is, oh Bhagavan, you needed me. You couldn't have done it without? All powerful Lord of the universe, you needed my 2 hands. That sound correct? The fact of the matter is, Bhagavan could have done it and would have done it without you. What? Meaning to say, suppose a child loses his parents. If that child meant to have good parenting and good education, Bhagavan will make it happen. You're not necessary. You're not indispensable in this world. If Bhagavan wants to see a mandir built, it will get built. In fact, if you weren't there, it would probably get built better. If the child had different parents, it might have been parented better. This is how you're supposed to think. I'm not indispensable. Where I am, if I get a chance to do something, that is an opportunity only. Opportunity only. Then you won't have ahankar. But I don't like that, you know. Because Bhagavan, you strip everything away from me. You mean to say, my accomplishments, I'm indispensable. The work I do, I'm dispensable. The work I do, anybody else could accomplish it. Then whatever powers I have, my beauty, my voice, my strength, whatever, all that is yours only. So you left me with nothing. You left me as a big zero. You take everything. Because this anahankara, don't have any ahankar. Well, what you're left with is bhakti. That's what, once you remove everything, you're left with love for the Lord. Because He gives everything. The great saints and sages think like this, you know. Bhagavan, if I have to define myself, I am a river and you are the ocean. See, a river exists only because the ocean is there, so it can send its water up to be clouds, to go out into the rainforest, to pour the water down, to send that same water of the ocean back to the ocean, correct? The Pomeroon River is running. Where did the water come from? Ocean. If there's no ocean, is there any Pomeroon River? No chance. But Pomeroon River is something different than ocean, correct? We talk like that. So, oh Lord, I am the river and you are the ocean. And my only exist just to flow towards you. And if you pull away, I won't exist even. Nobody will even call me river. Like that kind of thing. So rishis and bhaktas, they go on thinking about the Lord, thinking, giving up everything to Him, and slowly their heart gets filled and they merge with the Lord like a river merges with Bhagavan. Janma mrityu jara vyadhi dukkha doshanudarshanam. Ooh, boy, this quality is powerful and special. Let me tell you a very special one. Have you heard this wonderful phrase? I heard it first from Puja Guruji, Swami Tejo Mahanandaji. A happy slave is the worst enemy to freedom. A happy slave is the worst enemy to freedom. Meaning to say, suppose you go and you meet somebody in a slum. And you say, man, you're in this slum, born in this slum. They don't have proper education. They don't have proper drainage for waste. Everybody, not sanitary conditions. Come with me. I'll make sure you get proper education. You live in a more sanitary place, proper work and all that. And they look at you and say, no, man, I am paradise over here. This is the best. Right? I am Swarga or whatever they say. I'm the best place. You will look at them and say, what? You mean to say you don't recognize your own state that you're in? No, man, I think this is perfectly fine. Well, that person is the best enemy to. First, we have to recognize, oh, I'm not in a good place and I need to get better. Well, we are not good at this in life because we don't, anudarshanam, we don't have good perception, power to observe. So the practice here is you must increase your perceiving power and look again at life, birth and death and old age. Look again, O human being. Look like the best example is Buddha. You know the story of Gautam Buddha ji? He starts off as a prince, protected by his parents from seeing any old person, any death, any sorrow in life. So he grows up like, in other words, a modern Canadian teenager. He don't see anything bad. He don't see hard times at all. Then all of a sudden, what happens? He sees an old man, he sees a dying man, right? Like that. He sees disease and he starts to think, this old man, everybody gets old? Yes, Siddhartha, everybody gets old. I will get old also? Yes, you will get old also. This other man has disease. Everybody gets disease? Yes, everybody gets some disease, Siddhartha. I will also get disease? Yes, you also will get disease. This other one died. Everybody dies? Yes, Siddhartha, everybody dies. Oh, my body also will die? Yes, your body also will die. Then he thinks to himself, he perceives that. And he says, what's the use of this? Is there no better way to live than to just die? And then the scriptures say, Punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, punarapi janani jathare shayanam. Again you will be born, again you will die, and again you will lie there in some another mom's womb to be born again. Perceiving like that, well, the rest is history. Then he became Buddha. He sat under they say he sat under the Bodhi tree. And for all the Trinis listening, that does not mean he sat under a Bora tree, vine. Because in Trinidad they call Bora as Bodhi. He did not sit under a Bodhi vine. He sat under the peepal tree. Anyways, we should perceive sorrow in the same sort of intensity. But we perceive sorrow very superficially. We go by the cremation ground and we see the man cremated. And we think, oh, chi, poor fellow. I wonder what he gave in his will, you know. We're thinking about his will. We're not realizing he gone, already born somewhere else, and we are next. That doesn't occur to us. We're watching another man be cremated and it doesn't, I'm next. No, we're thinking about his will and what will happen. Let me see what tamasha gonna go on there. And like, we live forever. So to see carefully what this life is, just if you look out into the fields, you will see. Every creature is coming and going. Every field, rice comes and rice goes. Birds come and they die. Constant death and change. Dukkham, kshanikam, again, going. And then I also will come and go and come and go and come and go. And I just stuck in that. And there's no better way to live. Anudarshanam. That is that quality. If you have that, then you'll want something more. If you don't have that, then you're a happy slave, they say. Like that. Strong words, eh? And I didn't say it. Bhagavan Shri Krishna said it. I just putting it to you there. Before we sing this, let me just chant it for you. Asaktir anabhishvangaha putradara grahadishu nityam cha samachittatvam ishtanishthopapattishu. Bhagavan now adds more qualities, right? Asakti and anabhishvangaha means not having attachment and not having identification. And he gives a list here to children and spouse and house, like that. So we think a little bit about this before we close. Do you feel like you have attachment? Yeah, we all have. What are you and I attached to? See, people are attached to little things. Like, I have my own coffee mug. If I don't get my coffee mug, the coffee don't taste as nice. I have my own spot where I sit. I like to get the last bite in the house. If I don't get the last bite, I feel like I didn't get at all. People have attachment to small things, correct or wrong? Attachment means, I feel this thing will give me happiness. That's attachment. And there's a long list. You and I have to sit down and make our list. Each person has their own custom list of things we are attached to. Right? Like that. And attachment makes us do all kind of silly things also. One man was attached to that peanut brittle, you know, the nice peanut square with the cast in sugar, that peanut thing you get to the market. He loved that thing too bad. So every morning he used to have one square. And he also was very attached to his physique. You know, his muscles had muscles. He had both of those. So he used to work out every day also. Well, one day he get up late, so he didn't get to have his peanut brittle. And he, on his way to his workout, so he taken a bite of the peanut brittle and he jogging also. He exercising and eating the junk food at the same time. So when people look at him and say, man, this man crazy. How you go eat and exercise at the same time? But that is what attachment does to us. Makes us jump through hoops like that. So the idea is we have to give up attachment by attaching to something higher. That's all. You give up an attachment to something lower, so you attach to something higher. I like satsang, I like Bhagavad Gita, I like puja, I like chanting. That thing will take you up and out. These lower attachments will take you into more, like that. And then the other one, when attachment becomes really strong, then we start talking like this. Listen to this thing. When my son passed that exam, I feel like I passed the exam. When my daughter failed, or my son failed the exam, I feel like I failed the exam. Like that. A boy with his new car, when it get a scratch, he say, ouch. Because he feel like he get a scratch. And when he shut the door, he says, close it like he has ahimsa. Click. You know, he wouldn't slam that door. They say, the only time you see that soft closing of the door is if the car is new or if the wife is new. Then you see that thing shuts off. But anyways, that kind of deep attachment to things is abhishvangaha. To give up that also. The idea is, if we are attached to small things, if we make our identity so small, how will you adopt the identity of anything greater, like that? That has to be given up. Samachittatvam ishtanishthopapattishu. And lastly now, Bhagavan says, it's a wonderful final quality. We have to keep our mind balanced, equipoised. Very essential. What does that mean? It means like this. Even if the sky falls down, I'm going to keep my mind calm. I cut the connection between what is happening outside and what is happening inside. This mind will remain calm. Let the world do what it... My mental state is more important than whatever is going on outside. Like that. That's the commitment of somebody who has this balance of mind. But how? How to cut that? How to remain calm and all that? There's many, many different ways described in scriptures. And different people use different techniques, right? But I'll just tell you a story so that you get a taste of how this can be done. One man in the village, he was the poorest man in the village. So the king at the time put forth the social welfare program. Every poorest man in every village, they will get one horse. He wanted to lift the general welfare of the nation. So the poorest man, he gave them one horse. And hopefully with that horse, he will help others and all that. Nice idea. Then so before everybody just say, oh, I'm so sorry, you was the poorest man in the village. Then everybody said, man, you was the luckiest man in the village. Brand new horse. So he used to say, well, when you say he was poor, it's okay, let's see what happens. When he got the horse and everybody praised him and say he's so lucky, he said, let's see what happens. Then one day his son was taking care of the horse and the horse went a little mad and he gave his son a kick from behind. And the son went flying and he broke his arm. He broke his leg. So then everybody came to him and said, oh, you're so unlucky. He said, well, let's see what happens. Then that king went to war with another kingdom. And he had conscription. So all of the boys of all of the families, all you must come for war. And they said, oh, you're so lucky. They didn't let your son go because he's recovering from this thing. You can't go. You're so lucky. So then he said, let's see what happens. Then so many boys came back from war. And the king said, for fighting and for winning, I'm going to give that what you call pension. Every boy who fought in that war, for your life you will get this monthly pension for free. So they, oh, how unlucky. He didn't get that pension now for his life. So the man said, let's see. While he was recovering from that arm and leg injury, he learned about how to take care of yourself, what medicines to take, how to do massage, how to stretch. So all these boys came back from war with all kind of injuries. So he became like the village therapist. So all that pension money coming to him now. And they, oh, he's so lucky. He didn't have to go to war. He learned some medical science. And again, the dad said, what did he say? Let's see. His mind remained balanced, up and down, up. Life is like that. If he didn't remain balanced, when life goes up, he would go up. And like that. This is samatvam. And the benefit is, Bhagavan pervades both good and bad. So if we're going to see that, well, we can't be taken by one side. That is why it is called Jnanam. So we'll leave it here now. We are left with only one quality. One quality remains, and that we will see. So Bhagavan now, oh no, there's a few qualities again. And when you hear a long list like this, you say, Bhagavan, such a long list? I wanted a list, but you went on and on giving quality. Couldn't you just boil it down to one now? If I do this one quality, I will get all? Bhagavan said, yeah, I can do that. I'm Bhagavan after all. But if I tell you, will you do it? Then the man, well, look, first you tell me, then I'll tell you if I'll do it. Don't be so demanding. Just because you make it into one, I have to do it? I just want to come and listen. I don't want to do anything. Anyways, that one quality will come tomorrow at Richmond Saraswati Mandir at 6 p.m. So satsang continues tomorrow, night 78 at 6 p.m. Richmond Saraswati Mandir. Everybody is warmly invited. A few other short announcements. The final, tonight is night 77 and night 108 is happening in town on a cricket ground, Gandhi Youth Cricket Ground. A big event it will be, and we're doing the event for you. For all the different mandirs to come and be part of the finale. Now I know it is a trip. If a few persons can come, it will be wonderful. And it will end at 6:30. Dinner is served at 6:30. So if you can't come back and you can't stay with anyone, you just come to our ashram and stay. We have a small house ashram in Monrepo. and it's open for anyone to come and stay, and then you can make your way to whatever you have to do the next day. So it's happening on the Republic Day weekend, first Saturday in May at 5, Indian Arrival Day, sorry. First Saturday in May, May 3rd, 5 p.m. Right? And if you know people on that side, please come. We're preparing dinner for everyone and gifts for all the families who come. So please let us know also if you're intending to come. There is a bookstall at the back. So many nice titles. If you see anything you like, you can take it, share it, give gifts for children. So many nice books for children. This one is one of my favorites, Mama, Mata and Me. It tells the child, you read it, this is hardcover books are for the younger children, like 1, 2, 3 years old. You read it to them every night, and they will get the understanding how my mother takes care of me, like that there is a mother of this universe, and she takes care of the world. That will go inside, they'll never forget. So stories like that are there. One bookmark has been made for everybody, so you can keep it as a memorabilia. You were part of this 108 nights. And it has some nice quotes and ideas from Bhagavad Gita on it. And lastly, Chinmaya Mission has a training course where they train individuals to do this type of work, teach, or they allow individuals to study deeply the scriptures. And the training is a very intense one. It happens in India, and now it is also happening again in Trinidad. So in October the course begins. It is the kind of intensity where you get up at 5:30 in the morning, classes all day, go on till 8 p.m., no holidays, no weekends, no family visits, no Christmas, no leaving the ashram. You just intense study. And you learn a quantity of information, something like 15 years of university in 2 years. Non-stop content. And transformation. It is a wonderful experience for those people who like this type of scriptures and want to study it, not bits and pieces. It is taught by Puja Swami Prakashanandaji himself, and it starts in October. So if anybody is interested, then please speak to us or speak to Swamiji, and you can see if you can join that course. And once you pass the interview and all that, everything is provided. Scholarship course also for the fit student. So if nobody here is interested, there's requirements though. You have to be under 30, unmarried, and have some degree, some university, college degree. If you meet those requirements and you're interested, or you know anybody who might be interested, you please tell them. Because we need such trained teachers in Guyana, right? And first somebody has to be committed to go and study. Right. Okay. Now I pass it back. 1 minute over. I pass it back for any announcements about the Mandir and Navratri program, anything going on, and then we can have Aarti.
Let's put our hands together. Check one. Yes, I'm giving this task of saying thank you very much. You have said so much. I don't know if I can able to put in anything, but Swamiji, you said so much, and the audience enjoy it. And I do hope, as you said, that they can go home and put these things into practice, not just listen, but put it into practice. And you tell them about the benefits of putting it into practice also, that they can better their life and better their community and go on to reach with that Supreme Lord. Now, there's so much you have said. I would like to thank you much for the Chinmaya Mission for giving us this opportunity to listen to such beautiful kathas or words coming out from our sacred texts that some of us might not believe that these things are written in there. And it is there for us to listen and to put together. Now, some of us might think how Swamiji has known so much. But as he said that he's in that level that we are at the bottom cannot analyze so much of how he know it. But he says that he put the effort, and that is what is important for all of us to put into our daily lives. And he talks about duty, and he remind me about the bottle. The day me and this guy was raking yard, and bottles were in the trench. I told him, give me that rake. I had a rake. I told him, give me your rake. Say, what are you going to do with it? We'll take out the bottle. He said, why don't left the bottle there? I said, no. I'm going to take it out. You just watch. So it reminds all of us that we have a duty. We see things, we have to do it. And when we do it, we better our community. And this is something in the world that is going on now. If you want to go to the seashore to have a bath, there are things there now. You don't want to go. There are so many rubbish bottles. Sometimes you go, you dip your bucket of water, feather inside. It happened to me already. So, we all have to be, if we want to be Saucham, purity, we have to create that path, as you said. So once again, thank you very much. And we welcome you again into our mandir whenever you're around. So once again, thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Panditji, for organizing, and the organizers, Ramji, Gopalji, I believe, and of course Rameshji for liaisoning with each Monday. I know it takes a lot of work to set up. Like I said, all the work was done by you. I just had to come and sit here and talk. So thank you so much for making it all happen. My pranams to everyone. Now we'll have Aarti.
जय भगवद गीते हरि कमल विहारिणी हरि कमल विहारिणी सुंदर सुपुनीते ओम जय भगवद गीते
जय भगवद गीते मैया जय भगवद गीते हरि कमल विहारी हरि कमल विहारी सुंदर सुपुनीते ओम जय भगवद गीते
कर्म सुमर्म प्रकाश कामा शक्ति हरा
मैया कामा शक्ति हरा
तत्व ज्ञान विकासिनी
ज्ञान विकासिनी
विद्या ब्रह्म परा ओम जय भगवद
गीते
निश्चल भक्ति विदायिनी निर्मल मलहारी
मैया निर्मल मनहारी
शरण रहस्य प्रदायिनी
शरण रहस्य प्रदायिनी
सब विधि सुखकारी ओम जय
भगवद गीते
राग द्वेष विदारे कारिणी मोद सदा
मैया कारिणी मोद सदा
भव भयहारिणी तारिणी
भव भयहारिणी तारिणी
परमानंद मयनाशिनी तमरजनी
मयनाशिनी तमरजनी
दैवी सद्गुणदायिनी
दैवी सद्गुणदायिनी
हरिरसिका सजनी
ओम जय भगवद गीते
समता त्याग सिखावनी हरिमुख की वाणी
नया हरिमुख की वाणी
सकल शास्त्र की स्वामी
सकल शास्त्र की स्वामी
श्रुतियों की रानी
ओम जय भगवद गीते
दया सुधा बरसावनी मातु कृपा की जय
मैया मातु कृपा की जय
हरिपद प्रेम दान कर
हरि पद प्रेम दान कर
अपनो कर ली जय
ओम जय भगवद गीते जय भगवद गीते मैया जय भगवद गीते हरिय कमल विहारी हरिय कमल विहारी सुंदर सुपुनीते ओम जय भगवद गीते
ओम जय भगवद गीते
ओम जय भगवद गीते
मंगलम भगवान विष्णु मंगलम गरुडध्वजः मंगलम पुंडरीकाक्षं मंगलायतनो हरिः त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव सर्वं मम देवदेव त्वमेव सर्वं मम देवदेव ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ श्री कृष्ण कन्हैया लाल की श्री सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की श्री सत्य सनातन धर्म की हर हर नम पार्वती पतये हर हर महादेव ओम तत्सत।